start my recording too. So thank you everybody for joining. I am really very excited because this is something that I have been envisioning for a bit now since I knew about Rotary and Toastmasters having collaborated at the global level. So I see a lot of all the familiar faces, and then Tommy is the only unfamiliar face which has now become familiar. So, so what we are going to do here is we are going to be having brief introductions, as well as we want to make sure we get to know a little bit about what Toastmasters does and what Rotary Club does, especially in Fairlawn. And then we will have our guest speaker share a little bit and lighten up the mood for us. So I'm going to start with, let's have who was, I think, Rob, I'm going to ask you to speak first about Rotary and introduce yourself, and let's get started.
Okay, my name is Rob Kahn. I'm the president of Fairlawn Rotary Club for the third time. Our year just started July 1st. We go from July to June. So here's my Toastmasters talk. The Fairlawn Rotary Club was chartered in 1948. Our parent organization, Rotary International, was founded by Paul Harris of Chicago in 1905. Rotary International now has over 33,000 clubs in more than 200 countries in the world with 1.2 million members. Rotary's goals throughout the world include promoting peace. Rotary was involved in 1942 during World War II when plans for the United Nations were being formed. To this day, Rotary International holds a consultative status with the United Nations, and there is a Rotary UN Day every year. Fighting disease. Rotary is a founding partner in the Global Polio Eradication Initiative. We call it Polio Plus. In 1979, the first vaccination project was held in the Philippines. To date, Rotarians have donated over 1.8 billion, that's a B, to help in the fight against polio. At this time, the World Health Organization and the Bill and Melinda Gates Foundation have joined us in this fight. Other programs include clean water initiatives, educational initiatives, medical care initiatives, and economic initiatives. On a local note, the Fairlawn Rotary Club now has 21 members. When I joined the club in 1984, there were 105. One of the things I noted as a new member was that many of the streets in town bore the names of my fellow Rotarians. I realized I was in the company of people who get things done. Our club has done many projects over the years, and I'm very proud of them, so I'm going to list some of them, and I bet many of you locals have seen or heard about them. The World Globe and the Maurice Pine Library Lobby. Mac Pine was a Rotarian. Maurice Pine Library is named for Mac. We provide yearly scholarships for Fairlawn High School seniors going to college. We built a pergola in the courtyard of the Fairlawn High School. We supplied computers for the children's room at the Maurice Pine Library. We donated a van to the Fairlawn Opportunity Center. We sponsored Gift of Life children. These are kids brought in from other countries to have heart surgery they could not get in their own country. We have hosted international exchange students who complete their junior or senior year at Fairlawn High School. We provided and installed smoke detectors in the homes of senior citizens in town who needed them. We provided an infrared scanner to the Fairlawn Volunteer Fire Department. We provided AEDs to the Fairlawn Volunteer Ambulance Squad. We provided outdoor message boards to the Fairlawn High School and the Borough Hall. We provided the scoreboard for the Fairlawn High School football field. We provided the four-sided clock in front of the Fairlawn Library twice, because once it was knocked down, so we put up another one. We built a wheelchair ramp for a needy Fairlawn resident. We provided a motorized cart for the Fairlawn High School marching band. We have held spelling bees for the Fairlawn elementary schoolers. We hold geography bees for the Fairlawn middle schoolers. We have an ongoing Souls for Souls shoe drive. We hold the bicycle collections for Pedals for Progress yearly. We have built and installed 4 little libraries around town to date, with a 5th one on the way. We have donated food and supplies to several hospitals and homes during this COVID crisis. Rotary is a very important part of my life. I am proud to be beginning my 3rd term as president of the Fair Lawn Rotary Club in my 36 years of being a Rotarian. My 26-year-old daughter, Kelsey, put it very succinctly just recently. When talking about religion, she said, "We didn't go to temple. We went to Rotary." Nice to meet you all.
Thank you, Rob. I am going to ask Egidius to follow with as the president of the Fair Lawn Toastmasters Club. So Egidius, why don't you share a little bit about Toastmasters and about yourself?
I will. I'll definitely share a little bit. I wish.
Oh.
You are on mute.
Sorry, I think I muted you by mistake instead of muting Rob. Egidius?
Yes. Yep. Can you hear me now?
Yeah.
Hello, my name is Egidius Bartkus. I am following in the big steps, and I couldn't possibly follow any of that. So what I'm going to do is introduce the Toastmasters Club in Fair Lawn and tell you a little bit more about Toastmasters in general. The club in Fair Lawn has been established just about a year and a couple of days ago. So we're a very recent club, a year and a little bit. In the very much infancy, I was one of the mentors of the club to get it established and to get it going. And with the leadership of Manda Pasarkar and Anupama and a few other leaders, we took this club from 20 people, we grew it all the way to 21, right? So it's not much growth, but the thing with the Toastmasters is there's usually about a 20 to 30% attrition rate every single year. So whatever you grow, if you grow 8 to 10 members, this is usually the number of members you lose. So I'm proud that we have kept the club going. And I'm very hopeful that I'm going to do as good of a job as Manda and possibly even better to growing faster still. As a new club, we've actually have very notable achievements. And some of those few notable achievements are that in the first year, we have hit Toastmasters 10 out of 10 for the club growth and club quality. Means every single target we've been given by the Toastmasters International, be it new membership, being education program, being leadership, being training, membership dues and payments, we have hit every single one. And I believe, I'm still yet waiting for the confirmation, but I believe we're one of those few clubs who have done that in the first year, and I'm going to try to keep it going. For the benefit of everyone, I want to introduce a few things about Toastmasters who don't know too much about it. Toastmasters is a nonprofit organization established in 1924. It has been just refreshed ever so slightly in 2011, where if you used to Toastmasters different logos and different slogans and mottos, that was updated about a decade ago. We have an international president, Deepak Menon. We were very fortunate in North Jersey to have been visited by the incoming president, and he stayed here with us for about 3 to 5 days, visited a bunch of clubs, and I even had an opportunity to speak with him. The benefits of Toastmasters, as a club, we're supporting our members to practice public speaking and leadership skills in a very safe environment where there is no critique, there are only suggestions. But the benefits of the club are clearer communication, improved leadership skills, enhanced teamwork, meetings, effective meetings, positive mentoring and coaching opportunities, complementing other members in achieving their goals. Toastmaster itself is a pretty sized organization. There are about 16,500 to 17,000 clubs around the world. There are 9 regions and 80-some districts. And there are about 9,000 clubs in US alone, including about another 8,000 internationally. And there is a lot of different clubs. There are some corporate clubs, there are some community clubs, colleges, religious organizations, government agencies. They all do have a club of some sort. When I started Toastmasters, I was a part of Toastmasters corporate club with Mondelez International, formerly Kraft Foods, and then I transitioned into a public club. There's definitely a difference in the dynamics and how it works, but the benefit of Toastmasters is no matter what's your club and what's the opportunity, you will always be tailoring the club culture and club educational program to feed the best needs of the members. So we're all supporting of each other, and this is what we do. When the membership, when it was announced that Toastmasters International is going to be partnering up with Rotary International, I was trying to learn a little bit more, and I think Anupama has introduced a little bit, saying that has been top line agreement, but there hasn't been much instruction of what do we do with it and how do we work. And I totally congratulate Anupama reaching out to Rotary of Fairlawn to see if our clubs could coordinate and if our clubs could work and help each other to organize events so that we could attract people, Fairlawn Toastmasters people to the Rotary, and Rotary could help us out with some of our public events. Right now, Manda and Anupama are actually hosting one of the youth leadership programs for the local youth, spending their time, dedicating their time, helping youth practice their skills as well. So I'm very hopeful that with this interaction, and this is just a start, for us to coordinate better, work better, help each other out so that each of our clubs can prosper and we can achieve greater things in the future. Back to Anupama.
So, thank you very much, Egidius. That was really great. And now I am going to have our guest speaker share a little bit before we do introductions of each other, or I don't mind doing it the other way. Tommy, would you prefer knowing who everybody is before you speak, or you want to dive right in?
As a fellow Toastmaster, I'll follow your agenda.
All righty.
So whatever you got in order, I'm with you.
Okay, so let me first introduce you with what I have. I met Tommy through social media on LinkedIn. What I know about him, he's a master storyteller, a dynamic, entertaining speaker, and he has been educating and inspiring audiences around the world for over 25 years. Tommy's innovative laugh and learn style uses humor to teach powerful, positive, impactful messages that audiences remember. He is an award-winning motivational speaker to business, industry, students, and educators. And Tommy has worked with people from all walks of life, from blue-collar families to celebrities, from children to pro athletes. And with over 5,000 performances, Tommy's use of humor and personal stories build a connection that helps audiences break through their fears and challenges, move away from the old behaviors, and begin to take action. So we are in for a treat. So over to Tommy.
Well, thank you very much. That's a lot to live up to. Whoever wrote that, I got to give them credit. That's a beautiful thing. It makes me even sound good. And fellow Rotarians and fellow Toastmasters, I will share this. I'm a Toastmaster champion. I won the humorous speech contest in 2007 in the New York metropolitan area, one of the greatest days of my life. If you're a Toastmaster, just a little thought on the fact of going into the contests is the greatest thing you can ever do to enhance your education, your courage, your confidence, your competence. When you go out and you compete against the other clubs, it's the greatest thing you can do. So the good news is I look forward to sharing with you tonight. This is a speech I actually did in Toastmasters, I would say maybe back in 2009, 2010. And I've always had it. It's one of my favorites. And I really feel for this time where we're at right now, it's going to be good for everybody involved and something we can share with the world because things are a little rough right now on everybody. So I'm going to start my speech. I know I have about 10 minutes. Give me the thumbs up, thumbs down. Give me the hook, whatever you have to do. But I'm just going to fill it in. So what I want to talk to you tonight about is something I call a course in happiness. I've noticed throughout life that a lot of people are confused actually about what is this thing we call happiness. Two words I talk to everybody about. What is success and what is happiness. And a lot of people get hung up and not being really sure which either one is. So tonight I want to talk about my course in happiness, the route I took, and see if it could be helpful to you and anybody you might know. So it starts like this. I was in my car. It was a summer day, and I was driving, and I was listening to the radio, and there was a man. His name was Dennis Prager, and he was talking that he had a course in happiness. For real, he was selling a course in happiness. I couldn't wait to get home, get out my credit card, and order this amazing course. I knew it was going to change my life. My eternal search for happiness was going to end. I was going to have it. I ordered it. A few days later, the box came in. I opened it up. I ripped in. I put the first CD in. I listened. No happiness. Second CD, no happiness. Third CD, no happiness. 4, 5, 6, guess what? No happiness. So I looked at the bottom of the box and it said, if you're not happy with this product, return it. And so I did. And it was funny that I found all the happiness I needed by returning that product. And I'll tell you why. Because I really thought that I could find happiness from the outside in. And I'm going to talk to you about what I discovered since that day. I don't know about you, but many of us end up being a member of not only a Toastmasters club, but we become a member of the Happy Wens Club. Does anybody know the Happy Wens? Well, the Happy Wens are the people that we go through life and we say, I'll be happy when I have enough money. I'll be happy when I get the pool. I'll be happy when I get the house. I'll be happy when I find the right girl. I'll be happy when, I'll be happy when, I'll be happy when. I lived most of my life being one of the Happy Wens. And I'm sure a lot of you can relate, kind of, sort of, right? That you fall into the Happy Wen. When's this going to happen? Well, once I decided I no longer wanted to be part of the Happy Wen Club, I said, all right, now I have to do something about this. So I'm going to tell you two of my greatest phrases that stay in my head everywhere I go. Every single day I think of these phrases. Happiness is not a where and when. Happiness is a here and now. That's from the late, great Zig Ziglar, who is one of my mentors in public speaking. And Zig taught me a ton. And that's one of the things that stuck with me. Happiness is not a where and when. Happiness is in here and now. And the second one is be happy where you are on the way to where you're going. Be happy where you are on the way to where you're going. That's from Joyce Meyer. These have great impact on me to live in the now, to try and be as happy as I possibly can be one day at a time, just locking into it and doing what I can. So think of those phrases. If you can remember them, I'll send you the PowerPoint. Very, very important to have these little things in your head. If you've ever listened to Zig Ziglar or you ever met Zig Ziglar, you know, he speaks in stories and he speaks in quotes and they stick in your head and you take them home with you. He's famous for the one where he says you could have everything in the world you want as long as you're willing to help enough people get what they want. And that's worldwide. Everybody talks about Zig. So let's talk about this thing that escapes us all the time. Happiness. So I always say this, the fact is we get to choose happiness. When we look at our menu of life and we're really thinking about what it is, do you get up every day and check off the list and just check happy? Do you get up in the morning and say today is a happy day, right? We take it for granted, we forget it, but we get to choose if we're going to be happy or not. So we get to choose it. So the thing I'm trying to say is be happy. Know that you have options out there. The choice is yours. And I like to choose the happy ones. When I think about it, I really do. If you get to know me, you meet me, I'm a pretty happy guy. I'm full of gratitude for what I got. I focus on what's important in my world. You know, people say to me, how am I doing? I often say, better than I deserve. And I really mean that. You know, I'm truly, truly blessed, and I focus on it, and I focus on that most of the time. Here I am. I have 3 daughters. Now I have 4 grandchildren, right? They bring me joy. I enjoy being with them, and that's why I need to focus on what's good in my life and choose happiness. So I hope I can plant that seed in your head that it is a choice, and you do have options. You know, when we think about it, we run into a lot of people. My mother used to always say, misery loves company. I always remember that. Misery loves company. And that's the exact opposite of what we're talking about, right? Is that be careful who you're hanging with. Choose the happy people. Bring the happy people into your life. It creates an energy you'll be thankful for later. All right. So one of these, I always like to say, just be. Never let your circumstances define you. Yes, right now in this world today, there's a lot of stuff going on. Nobody's really planted where they want to be. Things aren't going the way we're expecting right now. A lot of uncertainty, but that doesn't mean you can't be happy. Because if you think about it, we know where we are, we know where we want to go. It might be a different process now for us, but never let your circumstances define you. Just be happy. Now, sounds a lot easier than it is, but I want you to remember this. Happiness is an inside job. Nothing comes from the outside in and brings us happiness. We bring happiness from the inside out. So if you want more happiness in your life, be happy. You'll start to attract more happy. You know, Zig would always say, if you see someone without a smile, go give them one of yours, right? And to me, that's the way I've always lived. I know it, what I do. I've been an entertainer for 31 years, bringing joy to people, making people laugh, making people smile. And it really is everything I just want to be. And that's my role in the world. So when you think about it, are you choosing happiness? Another thing that'll help with your happiness is if you live in the present, right? A lot of people look back in the past and have regrets, and it starts to bring a negativity, something I coulda, woulda, should've of life. You know, how many of us think coulda, woulda, should've? I look at it this way. It's okay to look back, just don't stare. Just don't stare. Learn from it and move forward. Many people get out, you know, they get like a deer in headlights. My past, my past, my past. Guess what? No matter what happened, it's done. It's over. So you can plan for the future, but if you want to feel a little bit more happy, live one day at a time. Get up every day. A friend of mine, I asked him how he's doing. He said, I woke up, I saw the ceiling. It's a good day. You know, and when you get to my age, you'll understand what that means. It's nice to wake up in the morning. It truly is. So live in the present. Think about that. It'll help you a lot more. You know, what we focus on, we get more of. So think happy thoughts. I love this phrase. Negativity never enters a trained mind. Now, if you're a friend of John Maxwell or any of the great thinkers of the world, you'll fully understand that we can train our mind to do what we train it to do, right? So if we train our mind to be happy, we will become happy. I use 4 words when I use this in my presentation, which is a lot longer than this. Be, believe, behave, become. 4 great words. If you decide you want to be happy and truly believe you are happy, you'll start to behave like you're happy, and you will become happy. Those 4 words can work in most of your life. Be, believe, behave, become. And that's what I like to think, and that's how we can help people. If you could help somebody be happy tomorrow, pass some of this on, it would be fantastic. But negativity never enters a trained mind. You can block it out. One of my mentors, you know, do I get stinking thinking? Of course I do, right? But I trained my mind to look at it and say, wow, isn't that interesting? I question everything that comes in because I'm in control of it. It's my world, it's my thinking. I get to control my thinking. Now, a lot of us have subconscious minds that we built in and things that control us, but it doesn't mean they have to control us the rest of our lives. So we're going to concentrate on being happy. I hope you're feeling happy now. Maybe you're not so much. It's 7:30 at night. We're on a Zoom call. Some of us on our couch. Jeopardy's on. We're missing Jeopardy. I get it. I'm watching Rob. Rob's shaking his head going, yeah, I get it. Tommy, stay muted, Rob. I don't want to hear it. All right. So, ladies and gentlemen, we get to create happiness. Okay? Please understand me. We get to create happiness. That's by not letting our circumstances define us. If you make a decision to be happy, you have just made the first step to being happy. So make a decision. We get to create happiness. We really, really do. Most people don't think about that. Like I said, people think happiness comes from the outside in. It never will. Inside job from the inside out. So if you want more happiness, surround yourself with happy people. Surround your people who are like-minded people, people who want to do what you want to do, want to see more people smile. Once you start to do that and your crowd changes and you surround yourself with happy people, and you find them at the Rotary and you find them at Toastmasters, people who care and truly love other people in the world. And that's the greatest part about you guys coming together. You know, I said I spoke at many, many Rotary luncheons, and I always remind everybody, it's a great place to practice if you're a Toastmaster. Because not only do you get to speak, but you get a pen and a free lunch. And there's nothing better than that in my world. So Toastmasters, go get a pen and a free lunch. They're waiting for you. So choose sunshine over darkness. Ladies and gentlemen, think about this. We get to choose the sunshine over the darkness. It's always there. The dark, the light, the lower power, the higher power. Do you want to step into the darkness or do you want to step into the light? You have options. You can make choices. It's entirely up to you, right? The blame game. Look what she did to me. Look what he did to me. You'd be miserable, right? And we start to play the blame game that the world has done us bad and it's everybody's done us wrong and he and she. And in 5th grade, that kid who punched me in the head, you know, we're still thinking about him, how he shaped our life, right? But when we think about it, what you focus on, you get more of. And I mean that. So if you start to focus on the sunshine, I'm a big fan of George Harrison. So some of you kids, I'm wasting my time talking about George Harrison, but I'll put it this way. He was one of the Beatles, so maybe that'll connect. And, he had an album and he talked about beware of darkness. It's not where we should be. We weren't put here to live in darkness. We were put here to live in the light. So whatever we need to do to live in the light and then go out and spread the light is really what we're all about on this planet. How do we spread the light? And I mean that because there's a lot of people today letting their circumstances define them, and they're slipping into deep and darker darkness. You know, it really is. There's a lot of people struggling. So go out, help somebody else, step into the light, help them step into the light. I think it'll be a big part of what we need to do to help people. All right. So that is me. I am Tommy Hilcken, fellow Toastmasters, Rotarians. Thank you for having me. I was just giving a little brief Toastmaster speech. I hope something connected with you, and I look forward to someday visiting your club, both clubs, Rotary Club and Toastmasters. Thank you.
Awesome. Thank you very much, Tommy. And now it is time for open Q&A. If anybody has any questions for Tommy or want to beat him up, now is the time.
No evaluations. All right, we'll put that back up and get my credits off there, that cheap plug.
You can stop sharing your screen so we can see everybody's faces, Tommy. All right.
There you go.
Any questions?
Hey,
comments?
listen, I grew up in Hudson County. We could have questions, comments, snide remarks. I'm okay. I'm good.
So Tommy, you're in Fair Lawn. Join us.
I'm actually up in Flanders.
Oh, you're in Flanders, out by Morristown.
Yes, yeah, up 80 West. But you're 30 minutes away, 35 minutes away. I'd love to come down and say hello someday.
We are meeting virtually right now.
Yeah. Okay, then we'll meet on Zoom.
Yes.
Cheers to that.
Glenn has his hands raised, so I should give him a chance. Hi, Glenn.
I did it the right way, right? I kind of think I'm happy, but my wife calls me the most patient person in the world. So
Okay.
I don't let things upset me. I don't know if that equates to happiness, but I don't get agitated about things.
You've become quite content with who you are and what you do. And that leads to happiness, if not being happy. Happiness isn't always woo-hoo doing silly cartwheels down the street, right? It's having a presence about yourself. Like you said, the outside stuff doesn't affect you. That's happiness. It truly is. So I'm going to say this, Glenn. You're happy.
I have to stop doing cartwheels?
Next time I see you.
All right. Anybody else has any thoughts, comments, questions?
Well, I have one question.
Go ahead.
I don't remember who said it. I think it may have been my mom, actually.
All right.
She said, happiness is not what you have. Happiness is what is enough.
Yeah.
So that I've always been trying to think. I myself am from a third world country where it's hard. You know, there are certain places in the world where it's hard, and usually people tend to think about happiness as something non-material. Happiness is something you do and feel rather than something that you own. And I often feel, I've moved here a while ago, and I feel that the more developed people become, the more things people own, the unhappier they get. So how do you train yourself to think that it's not this next Porsche, or it's not this next motorcycle, or it's not that next vacation or a cruise to the Caribbean that's going to make you happy? It's what you do every day. So how do you train your minds to be happy with what you have?
Well, material things are fine if that's what you want, right? If you get joy from things, and you get joy from driving a new car, and you enjoy having a new car, and you work hard for it, there's nothing wrong with that. But if the car goes away, can you still be happy? That's the thing, right? Where are you when it all goes away? When things are going very well, you're happy, and all of a sudden you lose your job. Are you unhappy, right? That's the point we're trying to make. I use a phrase all the time that came to me from one of my coaches, and I look at it this: between success and happiness, happiness is having an abundance of everything that's important to you. So think about that. Happiness is having an abundance of everything that's important to you. Now, everybody on this call has a bunch of different things that are important to you. We're solo. We live different lives. What's important to you might not be important to me. Having season tickets to the Yankees is important to me, right? There's a Met fan on the call right here who doesn't want to hear that. I understand, right? But it's important to me. And what I try to say when I'm talking to people is, discover what's important to you and have an abundance of it. Sometimes we really don't define what's important to us. And we do this and we do this and we dabble our way through life. Think about it tonight when you're sitting around later on. What's important to you? And if it's really important and something you really enjoy, get more of it. That's the way I look at it. So I hope you can have an abundance of what's important to you. And that's the way I describe it.
Yes.
Grace.
Grace. You have to unmute yourself, Grace.
So thanks for raising your hand, Grace.
Loved your talk. Very good. I like the theme throughout about choice.
Yeah.
I think one thing it does make me think about, just in terms of my own life, I think about the importance of when there's something that I would have wanted that is just not going to be, and having to acknowledge that and let go and then dream new dreams. I say that as the parent of a child with autism, and having had to go through that process of what I expected and mourning the loss of what I expected, and then needing to choose to dream new dreams. Otherwise, I don't think I would have been able to get to that place of contentment with what is. So I just wanted to add that in terms of a part of that process for me of choosing happiness has meant really looking at what are acknowledging that I can't always choose what I thought was going to bring that, and having to kind of actively lay it down and redefine what that is going to look like for me.
I love it. I've had many challenges in life, and sometimes when I look back, I thought they were the worst days of my life. And as I look back, I realized they were actually the best days of my life, because those challenges made me who I am today. And looking them straight in the eye and having the courage to do what I needed to do. You know, I had a coach one time who said to me, "So what, now what?" And I wanted to punch him right in the face, until I realized that life is all about, so what, now what, right? We look and we say, why me, why me? This same mentor used to look at me and say, why not you?
Why not me?
Why not you, right? And we're blessed no matter how we look at it, right? And everything will work out. Maybe not the dream that we had, the plan that we had, right? Sometimes people, I used to do it by myself, and the world sometimes will throw hand grenades into our life. And we got to duck for cover, get up and recover. We're all recovering from something on a regular basis, no matter what be. But if you ever need to talk, Grace, I'm here to give you a high five whenever you need one.
Okay. Thank you.
I had to pick new dreams when my wife heard me talking in my sleep.
Glenn, you've been writing this stuff while we're sitting here?
Yeah.
He's a
Susan
guy
is
who writes
constant.
a newsletter. So
I was gonna say, is this new material or is this old Rotarian material?
I don't have a drum to do a rim shot.
Oh, we all have one for you. Don't worry.
Rob, you wanted to share something?
I did, and I like what Grace said. And it's she used the word contentment, which I thought, Tommy, when you were talking. So I was diagnosed with multiple sclerosis when I was 26.
Wow.
So I've lived with that my entire life. And I think that, as you mentioned, Tommy and Grace, that has made me who I am in a good way. Because I don't say goodbye to people, I say have fun. Because that's what it's about.
Nice.
And so everything that's happened in my life, I look as a gift. Because I could have been in a wheelchair this whole time. So I'm the luckiest guy around. And that's how I look at things. So contentment is a big word for me, Grace. And I share, and we have that same thing, Grace. That the feeling of, it could have been different, but this is what it is. We're going to make the best of everything every day.
Yeah.
Thank you for letting me share.
Thanks, Rob. And you know, when you think about it, life on life's terms, right? We could never dream what that means until it starts to happen to us and we look and we say, man, I got to live life on life's terms. There's a lot of stuff I cannot control, a lot of it, right? But we truly are blessed. Hey, there's a kid sneaking in the closet behind you, Chantel.
Yeah,
there's a kid in your closet. Watch out.
No, he does his pull-ups. He does his
pull-ups. It was his time and he's like, mommies have been on Zoom for too long. Now I'm not going to wait. All right, so we are going to move on to our next program, which is introduction. So we are going to be sharing your name, what you do, about a little bit about your family and how you are associated with the Toastmasters or with the Rotary. And then we are going to go into breakout rooms after that. I have already assigned you rooms. So you'll go into breakout rooms after our introductions and talk about how we can collaborate together as Toastmaster and a Rotarian. So I put at least one Toastmaster and one Rotarian in each room when we break out. But right now we'll start with introductions. And I'm going to ask the last person who joined us to start the introduction, which is Jeff. You have to unmute yourself. Jeff, you're on mute. Jeff, you're on mute.
Okay, I'm a surgeon podiatrist in Fair Lawn. I've been in Fair Lawn 43 years. I have 2 children. I have a daughter who's a veterinarian with 2 girls, and I have a son who's a financial analyst, and he has a boy and a girl. Okay, is that enough?
Yes, that's good. And you are part of the Rotary Club since when?
Oh. I'm in Rotary probably 39 years.
Whoa. All right, that's good. All right, let's move on. Hi, Kristen.
Yay!
She made it. Kristen, can you hear us?
I got you now.
Yeah.
Yay, welcome.
Hi, guys.
All right,
Hello.
so we're just doing introductions right now. So after Jeff, I'm going to ask Glenn. Why don't you introduce yourself?
I'm on?
Yes.
Where's the light?
There's the light.
Bing.
Ding.
My name is Glenn Stubaus. I am an architect. My office was on Broadway in Fair Lawn. I'm mostly retired now. I closed the office last August, but I'm still involved in Fair Lawn Rotary. I've been a Rotarian for 28 years. I grew up in Fair Lawn. I was born in Jersey City, Hudson County. Grew up in Fair Lawn, went through the whole school system, and then after I was married, we moved out here to Parsippany in Morris County, but my work was still in Fair Lawn and Rotary was still in Fair Lawn.
Thanks, Glenn. Michael, you're next. Oh, you're on mute, Michael. Yeah.
Sorry about that. Yeah, I'm probably, and as I just displayed, I'm probably the least advanced of the Toastmasters here in this group tonight. But I'm wanting to learn a lot more this coming year. I'm a father of one perfect daughter, happily divorced, and I'm an engineer and superhost by current trades. That's about it.
All right. Thanks, Michael. Manda.
Hello, everyone. My name is Manda Pasarkar. I live in Fairlawn last 20 years. By profession, I work in regulatory affairs for the pharmaceutical industry. Currently, I work with Sanofi. I've been a Toastmaster many years. Since 2009, I started. However, I did not continue. Even though I started at that point, I just went like 1 month and dropped off. Then my Toastmaster experience started in 2016. In 2016, beginning of 2016, when I joined the Toastmaster, I have done a couple of speeches. And during that time, I moved to California, and I was alone after coming back from the work in the hotel room. And I thought like what to do now, how I'm going to know this world. California is, for me, it was like a different country, culture, and every which way. So I was lying down on the bed and thinking what to do in the evening, and light bulb went on, and it said like Toastmasters. So I immediately got off the bed. I looked up nearby area, and Toastmaster is everywhere. So I was able to find the meeting next day, and I met many good friends, mentor who has really changed my life. They had really helped me understand the true meaning of Toastmaster, what Toastmaster can help me in my pursuit of life and my career. And, next thing I know, I have been blessed with many friends, mentor, and you can see all the community here in Fairlawn. It was never happened. I lived in Fairlawn 20 years, and I never hardly knew 5 people. I was known by my kids' names mom, like Mahi's mom and Siri's mom. Now I've been known as a past Toastmaster president, Fairlawn Toastmaster president, or so Toastmaster literally gave me identity and gave me really good friends in town, and East Coast and West Coast and every coast, I would say. So I'm really passionate about Toastmaster. I've been struggle. I'm not an introvert person. I do not have trouble speaking. I'm well. I do not have fear of public speaking, but what to say, what not to say, because of the cultural shock. I came from a very small town, so somebody showing me light, a red light.
See, that's what we do.
By the way, I am a DTM. DTM is don't time me.
Thank you, Manda. And Manda
Yes.
is the main reason we do have a Fairlawn Toastmasters Club. She took the initiative and decided to get it started. So kudos to her for getting that done, because all these years we never had Toastmasters in Fairlawn. So thanks, Manda. All right, we are going to move on to Margie. You're on mute, Margie.
Yes, hello. Hi, everybody. My name is Margaret. I'm also a resident of Fairlawn, and I'm a member of the Toastmasters Club. This is my second year. I'm an introvert by nature, so part of the reason why I wanted to join Toastmasters was to become and feel more comfortable, speaking in front of groups and large audiences. I do that for work, but I speak about work topics, so that comes a bit more naturally. Outside of work, different story. So that was my my rationale for joining. By trade, or I work also in the pharmaceutical industry, and I am in the clinical operations field. So that's a little bit about me. And very nice to meet the Rotarians. I've heard the group name for many years, and always was very curious as to what the group did, where they were located, and things like that. So I'm really glad there's a kind of joining of the two organizations, and volunteer work is near and dear to my heart. So I'm hoping to have a chance to help volunteer in the community.
All right, thanks, Margaret.
Thank
Margie,
you.
you're next.
Well, from one Margaret to another Margaret.
Oh, hello. It's funny because I didn't see you, Margie, and people normally don't call me Margie. So
I know. I
when
was
you
like,
said that, I was thinking, oh, okay, maybe it's me. On occasion, I have an aunt named Margie. I don't get called Margie very often, so I apologize, Margie.
That's okay.
Well, no worries. It's all
So
good.
we have margaritas. Oh.
Next time.
So my name is Margie. I've been a Rotarian since 2007. I enjoy helping other people and doing things with the club. It's one of my favorite things. I am a banker. I'm the branch manager of Columbia Bank on Broadway in Fair Lawn. I actually live in Kinnelon. I have 2 children. My son just turned 30 this week. So I've been a mom for 3 decades now. And my daughter is 28. So there's 14 months between them. So now we're in that little time period when they're 2 years apart. Let me see, what else? I'm happily married to a really great guy. He actually works in Flanders, out by you, Tommy. We're all good. We're all good. So thank you. I appreciate getting the opportunity to see everybody and to meet new people. It's been wonderful.
Great. Thanks, Margie. Sheetal, you're next.
Hello, everybody. My name is Sheetal Shah. I've been married for 20 years. I have 2 boys. As one you saw was jumping, doing his pull-ups. I work for the Bergen County Board of Social Services in Rochelle Park, which is like 10 minutes away. I chose this job because it was closer to home and I wanted to come home, even in my lunch hour, my boys. So this is how I chose my job. I joined Toastmaster. I had no idea about Toastmaster, but Manda was a good friend of mine and she introduced me to Toastmaster, and I'm very happy that I did. I'm a very introvert person. My voice wouldn't even come out before. If I speak, nobody could hear me, but hopefully I think over the year, it has come out a little bit. I moved to Fair Lawn 6 years ago. I used to live in Wallington, and I've heard about Rotary because my brother-in-law, who's in India, is a president there, and he talked about Rotary Club, and I was really surprised. They give a lot of donations to the little kids, and they do a lot of things in India. So I thought Rotary was a nice club, which I thought we had it in Fair Lawn because they had a mud run in the Fair Lawn pool. That's how I came to know the first time that they have it. This is what I have now. Thank you.
Thanks, Sheetal. Kristen, you're next.
So I'm assuming we're all introducing ourselves.
Yes.
So, I am a teacher actually in Fair Lawn. I teach at the high school. So I have 0 problems being able to speak publicly. I often joke that I do 5 shows a day while I'm teaching my kids. I actually started out as the Interact advisor at the high school, I'm trying to think, maybe 6 years ago. And that's actually how I learned about Rotary and came to be a part of the Fair Lawn Club, was because I started advising the high school version of Rotary, which is Interact. And I am a single mom to the best 9-year-old ever that I'm grooming to be a future Rotarian. And everybody else that's part of our club has seen Thomas on many occasions, and he's getting involved in community service, which I love.
All right. Thanks, Christian. Grace.
Okay, so I'm Grace. I'm actually Manda. I'm actually from California originally. So yes, it's a different culture there. My husband and 2 sons and I moved to New Jersey about 12 years ago. So we've been here since then. I was a teacher also in Fairlawn, elementary ed, and I've been a part of Rotary for 4 months. So I am a newbie.
She's a newbie.
That's my journey so far.
All right, thanks, Grace. All right, we'll go to Rob.
Rob Kahn, Rotary, 37 years, married 38 years to Eileen. We have 2 children. Alex is 30, Kelsey is 26. And the most important thing to me is family, and they are great. And I'm a happy guy. Thank you, Tommy.
Thanks, Rob. Egidius.
Yes, my name is Egidijus Bartkus. As the name suggests, I'm probably not an American, and I'm not. I'm Lithuanian, born and raised. I moved here with work. So I worked for the company that was formerly known Kraft Foods, or they kept purchasing companies and they kept naming them Kraft Foods, and wherever I would go, they would buy me back and change the name back again. Until I got out. About a year ago, I decided to switch the companies. I'm an engineer. I'm a geek. I like to figure out how things work. And over here, interesting thing about myself, I'm married twice and divorced twice from the same woman. That doesn't happen very often, does it? Right. So, and here, when I moved to US, I met a wonderful woman. We have a 3-year-old, and we celebrated 3 years just yesterday. So, very happy. Glad to be the president of Toastmasters. I think I heard about Toastmasters back in Europe, never did anything with it, but I thought this is my moment. This is my kind of coming out moment from the closet of the engineering things happening in it, and trying to become a little bit more extroverted, trying to meet more people, trying to talk, and now they can't shut me up.
Red flag. Let's show him the red flag.
Oh, right. I'm wearing the red flag.
Yeah, I know. Thanks, Egidius. Tommy, let's hear about you. Unmute yourself.
Hi, everybody. I'm Tommy Hilcken. I've been a lifelong entertainer. As a matter of fact, throughout the 90s, I was a professional clown. I would tour internationally, and I represented the United States at the International Clown Festival in Nagasaki, Japan, many times. So my stage presence actually came from the fact that I was a clown, and I learned a lot about public speaking. So that's why I followed it up and went into Toastmasters. And my company, we do 3 things. We help people step up, we help people stand out, and we help people sell more in the business world. So the public speaking and the sales training is what we do for people. And thank you for having me.
I thought clowns didn't speak.
Those are mimes, but nice try, Glenn.
All right, so let me introduce myself too. My name is Anupama. It does mean unique, and I believe each one of us is unique. I have 3 children. I'm happily married for the past 20+ years. And I've been in Fairlawn for the past 10 years. Like Manda, I hardly knew anybody till about last year. I worked a lot remotely. I used to be an IT project manager. And only after I joined the John Maxwell team, I started thinking about myself as an entrepreneur, and I started connecting with people, and I'm thrilled to be here. And I want to now break us up into breakout rooms. I'm trying this for the first time. Hopefully it will work. I have assigned 4 people in each room. There is a Rotarian as well as a Toastmaster. So the topic of discussion is, how can we collaborate between the 2 clubs? So talk about some ideas that will help us collaborate between the 2 clubs. And then after I'll give you 10 minutes in the breakout rooms. And then I want everybody to come back to the main room. I will give you a warning before I bring you back. And you need to select a group lead who will be sharing with us the thoughts from that group. So we have 3 big breakout rooms. So for each breakout room, you select a group lead within the room. And then when you come back, that person will be speaking on behalf of the group. So I'm breaking you up. I have in breakout room 1, Egidius, Jeff, Margie, and Sheetal. Breakout room 2, Glenn, Manda, Rob, and Kristen. Breakout room 3, Grace, Margaret, Michael and Tommy. And I'm opening up all the rooms and hopefully it should work as I expect. So you have to accept, I think, when.
There we go.
Back.
That was
Did you miss
fun.
us? Did you miss us?
Yes.
Yeah. You
I
kept
was all
peeking
by
in.
myself.
You kept peeking in. I saw you.
Yes, yes. I wanted to make sure things were moving along. So it was. So thank you all. I hope you had a good time. I think I have everybody back. So let's start with breakout room 1. Who is going to share with us from Egidius group?
Well, I think I may have done most of the talking and trying to
think so.
summarize some notes, so that'll probably be me.
Yep.
I don't think we came up with something overly genius, but we still wanted to capture a few things. And with the clubs, one club being about 70 years old and one club being about 1 year old, it's like a grandpa and a kid situation. But I think a few things where we can, or a few areas where we can help each other is Rotarians could help us out with a little bit of some best practices and instructions about fundraising, telling what works, what doesn't work for them, trying to get some funds or accumulate a certain amount of money for us to be able to go out and do some things for the community. Okay, and we've spoken that what two of the challenges, well, one of the challenges that each of the clubs face, it seems to be the same challenge, is keeping an active membership and retaining members and recruiting those members. We know certain things work for us. We've been using Meetup and we've been using Facebook, and I think most of our guests that tend to convert, and I think we have a rate of about 25% or so. So of the 4 guests, we convert about 1 to become our member. It seems to be most efficient on those forums. So if that's something we can share and help out as well, giving some suggestions of what worked for us and versus what works for you, that's where we can collaborate. And just in general, when we need, let's say when we have, with the fewer and fewer members, there are less hands on board. So when we need to organize an event, be the Toastmasters event or a Rotary event, and we need hands to help us out, we can just coordinate a little bit and say, hey, we need a few people. Would you be willing to help us out? And then obviously we'll help out. We'll put a banner, Toastmasters. No, don't worry. We'll physically help each other out where we have to. So I think that's 3 things we covered.
All right, cool. Let's move on to Rob, your group. Who's going to speak?
Amanda, you want to talk?
Yes, okay. Hello, everyone. We had a wonderful discussion. Mostly the Toastmasters tend to talk.
You think?
Yes, so I think we reserve that right. So, and then to that notion, Rob and Glenn suggested that, okay, guys, you guys like to talk, just come and talk and entertain and serenade our audience, our Rotarians, so they'll learn something out of it. So that's what one of the idea they proposed. Another thing, like we spoke, like as Anupama and I are hosting youth leadership, so they wanna help us out with that one, like pen and pad if students need something, but that's out of scope at the moment since we are not meeting. It's a virtual presence. Another thing is how Toastmaster can help Rotarian. So Rotarian does many events such as mud run or many social events where they are building something in the park and they need people to do physical work and come together, dig the holes or some sort of help. So they need a bodies, like, and we Toastmaster, our body and mouth can come handy. So,
I like that.
All right.
yeah, so I think this is the 3 plans we have.
All right.
Nice.
Good for a start. All right, breakout room 3, Tommy's group. Who's speaking?
Well, after a poor attempt of me trying to put it on Tom's lap, I ended up picking it up by the superior abilities that Tom has. So, be that as it may, we started to look at what we do have in common, what we have different. We looked at really what we thought was a personal difference, and I've already heard some more things I can add to it, but I think I'll stick with where we have so we're not duplicating too much effort. But we saw that, really Toastmasters, normally I think of Toastmasters as personal growth, and I think of Rotary, or we all think of Rotary as, it's more of it's a local involvement with the community, and it's a local involvement and it's also a charity more than, I think Toastmasters doesn't feel quite as much a charity. Maybe I'm too naive to know that yet, that it might be more. Yet I do have to say, from what, and I'm already seeing this in Anna Palmer's focus with right now with what she's doing with the school children, that she's actually bringing Toastmasters into the school, was really quite amazing what I've been learning about that. I didn't get a chance to say this before, so I've been wanting to find a way to do that, Anna Palmer. I prayed for that. That's amazing.
Manda started it. I just joined her. So
okay. Well, however you got it going, you did it great. You did great. You both did.
Without her help, we would not have succeeded.
She seems like she's a driver on it. She worked, right? Yeah. But so back to my going through my bullet points here, my notes. I did find that we looked at both really are looking to mentor and change, but what was I looking at there? One thing that came up is that maybe Rotary has people more outside of Fair Lawn than well, Toastmasters has more people in Fair Lawn. Rotary might have more people a little further outside. That may or may not be clear. I'm not sure if we really fully explored that. I think that if there's value in having more local people in Rotary, we probably have a lot of those people. We do, and I see some value in joining. I'm looking at this and thinking this might be a lot of fun, especially get my daughter involved with something physical, something out of the house. And right now, that's been kind of a thought in my head, especially during this COVID thing. I don't know if everybody else has kids here, or who does, or who has grandkids, or whatever, but I have a 16-year-old, and God, get her out of the house. Anyway, next thing is that we got in a discussion about, see, in Toastmasters, one of the main focuses is the education, and highly so. And they're involved with the mentoring and the volunteering through the pathways discussion that may have some values and some overlap to Rotary. And then we are also doing a little examination of the size of the clubs. We didn't get very far into that, but that Rotary has 2 groups, and there might be some values for us deciding just the timing wise might be better for some of us to be involved in a sunrise versus a luncheon one. And I guess the sunrise one is a little smaller than the lunch. Not that that matters, but it's just that I would like to learn more about the Rotary myself. That's all I can say. Is there anything anybody in my group would like to add that I missed or you'd like to expand on?
No, but I saw Rob shaking his head, so I might have gotten some of those details wrong.
Right. So the Sunrise Rotary has a lot more members than the Noontime Rotary.
Oh, I didn't know that.
They don't, virtually they're meeting at night now.
Oh.
So I suggested
Sunset.
to someone in that club.
Rotary. It's the evening meeting, not the sunrise now.
The Sunrise, yeah, I said that they should change their name to the Sunset Rotary Club.
All right. Okay. So I think that for our first meeting, this was a good discussion. I would like some input from Rob and Egidius. But before that, I want to quickly share a presentation that I had shared with my Toastmasters Club to introduce them to Rotary. If you don't mind, I want to just share a little bit about both the clubs that I have, and I love pictures, so you will see a lot of pictures in here so that you can see who is where. So we have the Fair Lawn Toastmasters Club. We used to meet in the library before the COVID started, and this was one of our club meetings where Manda is leading that discussion.
And we are having a social distancing there. Look at that.
We are having social distancing, yes. And this is the Rotary Club meeting where Rob is here standing, and we are all the Rotarians are still here. One of the meetings that I attended at Davia Restaurant, where we meet on Thursdays. We used to meet on Thursdays. This is where Manda got started with the Rotary at the street fair. And here is our newest member, Grace, with all the enthusiasm that she could pull in. And we were talking about collaborating together once we saw that they were collaborating at the global level. Again, this is the Rotary Club doing some activity, volunteering here. This is Kurt Peloso, our mayor, had come for our chartering ceremony in October last year. So that was a meeting there. And the goal is to increase our influence together. We can together make a significant impact. And the call to action was to collaborate. I joined the Rotary Club just this January, so I'm pretty new to the Rotary Club. And I joined the Toastmasters Club last June. So I'm pretty new to the Toastmasters Club as well. But I'm happy to be part of both the clubs. And the word for the day was happy, I think, by Tommy. So now we are all meeting virtually. This is one of our club meetings, Toastmasters Club meeting. And this is one of our Rotary Club meetings where we are meeting virtually. And here we are together. So thank you very much. And the benefits that I pulled from one of the presentations that Rotary and Toastmasters have is Rotary has new leadership development, increasing collective impact, enhanced fellowship, build stronger clubs, and opportunities for service, speaking, learning, membership, and networking activities. Those are the common things that we see. And then for Toastmasters, again, this connect with more people, take advantage of new speaking and learning, and make a difference. So just wanted to share that little bit before I hand it back to Rob and Egidius to give us your thoughts and what next.
Well, Anya Palma, thank you so much for making this happen. It's great to meet new people, as you like to say, and the Toastmasters like it. And I hope that we can get together on things in the future and hopefully do things together in person. That would be wonderful. And Egidius, we'll have to stay in touch so we can keep things going.
Yes, absolutely. I can agree more. I'm a fairly recent Fairlawn implant. No, there's no such a word. Implant. Yeah, fairly recent implant into Fairlawn, couple of years here. So I'm learning my ways around. I'm getting to know people. I've seen some of the roads with the Rotary sign. So I definitely knew you were here, but one of the things that strikes me in Fairlawn that this seems to be an extremely family-friendly and closely knit community. At least that's how I feel. And a part of a community is that everyone has to help out in order to create and furnish that community. So whether we're a Toastmaster or Rotarians, if anything, I think we're part of the same community, and it's just an encouragement and a nudge from Anupama for us to do more things. Get together, participate. We'll come to your meetings, just listen in and see how you do things. And we also invite you to come and join our meetings as well to see what we're about and what we do. And be it a normal regular meeting, be it a youth leadership training meeting, hopefully we'll get a bit more idea of how we do things. And then that will develop into a stronger relationship for us to start work together and coordinate together and do more things for Fairlawn together.
Rob, you're saying
so we can start this almost right away because the 5th of the little libraries is almost complete. And I talked to Jimmy Graff, and I told him where I wanted to have it placed, and he said okay. So we're going to need help, Monda, as I said before, digging holes and putting in stakes and putting in cement. So we will definitely let you guys know when that's going to happen. And if anybody can come and help us out, that'd be great.
Absolutely.
Awesome. Great. Tommy, any last words you want to say? Thank you so much for coming. It really great of you to accept my invitation to be here. But I would like to give you a couple of minutes.
Well, I don't own a shovel, so
I do.
Yeah, I got one I can lend you. No, thank you for having me. It's a great group. And, like we were talking earlier, it's all about service. So how can we serve one another? How can we serve the world? That's all I look to do. I didn't become a public speaker to see if I could, get my words out. It's just pretty much, I just want to help people. That's been my mission in life. And if I can make you laugh for a little while, that's my goal, to get you change your state of mind. That's all we want to do. We want to help others. That's all we want to do. So thank you for having me, everyone. I appreciate it.
Thank you.
Rob?
One more thing. In Rotary, we have something we call the four-way test. And the Rotarians will join me. Is it the truth? Is it fair to all concerned?
Will it bring
beneficial?
Goodwill and better friendship.
And will it build goodwill and better friendship? I switched 3 and 4. But it's just helping people do good stuff and be a nice person and be happy and everybody have fun.
All right.
I love it.
Okay, we are at 8:29. We are going to wrap up. Thank you very much for joining. We made it on time.
And your Palma, you are something.
Good night, guys. She's a Toastmaster. That's what she is.
I'm so
Good
sorry.
job.
I kept cutting out. My
That's
power
okay.
kept going out at the house. I'm sorry.
I'll send you the recording. You did miss the discussion, but thank you for trying to be here. All right. Good night, everybody. Have a good
Good
weekend.
night.
Everybody.
Take care.
Bye-bye.
Bye.
Goodbye.